This is a brief pen profile of Professor Subir Nag. Professor Nag is the principal of Satyapriya Roy College of Education. This college is very famous in West Bengal, specifically for designing the teaching pedagogy and training the teachers in different colleges. Professor Nag is graduated from Presidency College, Kolkata, and postgraduated from Science College in Physiology with university ranks and national award scholarship in both the examinations. After completion of B.Ed from St. Xavier's College, Kolkata, he started his teaching career in school. He stood first in MA education from Jadavpur University and was awarded University Gold Medal. Later, he joined Government College of Education, Bardwan, as assistant professor, and later joined St. Xavier's College as lecturer in the B.Ed department. He has obtained his doctoral degree in the field of social psychology of science education from Calcutta University, and also obtained PG diploma in psychological counseling. During his post-graduation studies, he obtained project training in ergonomics and work physiology in Industrial Design Center, IIT Powai, Bombay, presently Mumbai, under Dr. G.G. Ray. After long 16 years of his illustrated career as reader in St. Xavier's, he became principal of Satyapriya Roy College of Education, formerly known as All Bengal Teachers Training College in 2008. He was also associated with Presidency College and Calcutta University as visiting faculty for more than a decade in the postgraduate sections of physiology and education, respectively. He is an academic counselor of IGNOU, NSOU, IASE, and associated with various universities in different administrative responsibilities. Dr. Nag is prolific feature writer in Kolkata-based popular dailies, also has many research articles in national and international level journals, and at present an author of more than 28 books in the field of teacher education. So we are very much fortunate to have Professor Subir Nag with us. So Professor Nag, I'm requesting you to start your presentation.
Very good morning to all of you participants, my friend Abdulal Babu, my long time associate in the field of education and research. And from your inspiring introduction, I'm also looking forward after this situation becomes a bit normal. Maybe in our college, we are always with you and thanking you especially for enlightening us in the field of Rabindra Sangeet and you giving a new dimension to this in your excellent endeavor in this Rabindric Psychotherapy Research Institute. And we are aware about your nature of research and work you are doing. And I hope that in our college, very soon, we will have collaboration, close collaboration frequently, especially on Sundays. We can have workshops, projects under your guidance with your vision and with your team. Excellent work you are doing, and we are all willing to join with you in the field of teacher education. As you are aware, in our college we are having a B.Ed, M.Ed, and a postgraduate diploma in counseling course, and we hope to have more collaboration with you in future also as well. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share this platform with many of my beloved students friends, colleagues, under your supervision and guidance, especially with such a topic, which is a very, very passionate topic as far as today's world is concerned. And we hope that we will be able to overcome all sorts of hindrance to this type of environmental hazards what we are facing during this pandemic situation. It has improved a bit, but not yet that much. We hope to do a lot more. Before we come to that specific core area of green education, the excellent title you have given, let me start my talk with two ladies specifically. 2000 year back, all of us we are aware about what happened in Rajasthan village with a tribal lady when she protested some order given by at the time some king or some jamindars. They used to uh, cut trees. Amrita Devi from the Bishnoi tribal background. She protested and encircled one tree and asked the king's person or the jamindar's the person force. First, you'll have to kill me before you cut a tree. And she was brutally killed, and the first tree was cut by the person force. So that was 2000 years back. So that is history now. Amrita Devi Vishnu. Now, even very recently, when I started my career, teaching career, I was conducting one government workshop on water conservation with many of my students in Sakhwat Memorial Government Girls High School in Kolkata. At that time, a lot of learned people were on the dais and giving excellent lecture on water conservation, the importance of that, everything. And suddenly we observed, many of us, that a small girl of, say, maybe class 5 or 6 in the school uniform suddenly observed that somewhere there is a tap and some water was trickling out of the tap. And that small girl rushed back to that tap and closed that. Now I was reminded of Amrita Devi Vishnu and the act of the small girl closing that water loss. And then whatever theory we are studying, that anthropocentric, anthropo means human being, and anthropocentric practices, whatever theory we are talking about, whatever lecture we give, it is not enough unless we really practice it in our life. That is the most important thing we should be following. And this small girl just gave me that glimpse of 2000 year back what Amrita Devi has done. And whatever, just in order to get marks, because when we were students, we are doing only the same task, repeatedly studying and writing all these things in the answer script in order to get marks. But when we see this, starting from that Amrita Devi to the small girl, that yes, theory, awareness is there always. That is will be there, research, everything, fine. But what about the practice? The most important area where we are really lacking is actually the practice. We don't practice. That is the main thing. And the small girl of that Sakwat Memorial School showed me and us, all of us, that only giving lecture is not enough. You'll have to do something, practice something. And from there, the concept of ecofeminism came. I know that in this group, many ladies are there. And I think this ecofeminism concept came from involvement of ladies in our community. Naturally, they are more eco-friendly as far as anthropocentric practices are concerned. That human practices, whatever we are doing, whether we are preserving the nature or we are destroying it. This is a very, very important concept, and from that, this term has been derived, this eco-feminism. And in future also in our training program, etc. When I was teaching science methodology in St. Xavier's, a lot of activities we used to do related to this eco club and science club. And those who are aware or those who are interested, I can show you one of the book, a life science methodology book. At that time, whatever we did, this is a compilation where a lot of activities are also there. So if you are interested, you can get this book and have all these materials printed in the printed form, where a lot of activities we have suggested. Me, along with my all beloved students there for years after years, what we did there, we started developing various pedagogy, various curricular aspects where we can develop certain activities in the form of simulation games. Because we are not telling that you'll have to always come and in a very dull manner, you'll have to give a lecture and teach something in the class to young minds. No, for school level students, sometimes theoretically we say play way method. We say something very interesting, simulation game. We can design that, and we design. We designed, and we actually what we do is we have designed such a simulation game where students are young students of school. They are under the guidance of our trainee teachers in since they was at that time. Even in my present college, present students, those who are aware, and in our workshop we used to show them. And I have seen some of my old students, principal of World School, Nupur, she is also there, very interested in all these activities. And whatever we are doing at present, we are trying to develop all these various types of joyful learning. That is most important in eco science club activities. The students should get fun out of it. We can do lot of things. And now designing this, suppose we are playing Ludo, Bio Ludo. Now in this online lecture, I cannot show you or demonstrate all these things. I hope that very soon we will collaborate, and maybe in our college under the guidance of Dibdulal Babu, we will have more workshops, 1 day workshop where the students, teachers can come together after this pandemic is over, and then we can play straight away. We can come and play all those games, small design games, activities, everything, so that whenever young students they come, green education means whatever we are doing that should be for the sustainability, for protecting our biodiversity, for protecting us. We may vanish very soon, but what will happen to our future generation? It is our responsibility to save our mother nature, mother earth, so that the future generation can breathe in an environment where it will be full of oxygen. Now we are wearing masks, but I hope that in near future we won't have to always carry oxygen cylinder with us. So that is the main reason we have to reduce carbon footprints. How to do that? In the form of games, in the form of various activities, in the form of small joyful activities. Can we show that exactly what to do? Theoretically, hundreds of lectures we can arrange, but that is not enough. Now this is high time when we can really show something concrete. And in my lecture, I'll be able to, I'll try to show you exactly those concrete things what we are practicing for last almost, I'm in this field for almost 30 years. And all my beloved students, I know them personally, that they are all using all these techniques, activities, ideas in their own school, in their own colleges and universities, wherever they are. And I'm always proud to be their teachers because they are doing excellent job, and they are showing all these things to their young students, and they are taking part in playing Ludo, in playing some group games, by using some placards, some cartoons. I'll give you the examples and what we can do in this type of pedagogy, as Devdulal Babu has suggested me rightly, that this is now high time to develop pedagogy in this field of green education. So green, the word itself, whenever we are talking about Rabindranath, the greatest naturalist philosopher of our own country, and what he has done, he has started the cultural festival, Vriksharopon Utsav. I hope these Bengali words I can utter occasionally. Some of you won't have that problem. This Vriksharopon is planting a tree, afforestation. This is just an answer to the deforestation concept. This is afforestation. And Rabindranath, the greatest personality of our own country, he showed us the way how this afforestation movement can be made with a cultural and with a social impact in the community. Not only awareness, but doing something concrete. During our monsoon, before just the onset of monsoon, we used to have brickrophon. He even brought the entire education system in the midst of nature. So the philosophy was a naturalist philosophy, and the students will learn midst of nature. The Sriniketan concept, the Shantiniketan concept is a live demonstration of the learning pedagogy, what Gurudev wanted to show us, much, much before the Western world became aware and started doing the research and kept coming out with all these terminology. Now we are packed up with jargons, lot of jargons, and if you open the net, you will have the green thumb project and all these things which has got a lot of foreign funding in other countries. But if we just look back and come back to our own Shantiniketan and Sriniketan with Gurudev's concept, we can see that this type of concept Gurudev gave us much, much before the Western world became aware. Even right now, I was getting this data from the net that 16 tons per head per year production of carbon footprints in United States, a single country, producing 16 tons of carbon footprint every year per head. So in this way, can we reduce these greenhouse gases in order to protect this environment? What we will have to do? It is not only doing projects and this type of funding for this, but my target group is school students, because school students are the most important. As I started my lecture with that small girl example of small girl. I don't know. Maybe after so many years now, that girl has become a very good uh, researcher or teacher somewhere. I don't know. I don't know her name, but that was the example which with which I started. So these school students are our future. Number one, and number two, if we can really do something concrete for these school students under the guidance of their inspiring teachers. There are hundreds and hundreds of inspiring teachers in every school, because I am in this field for last 30, more than 30 years, and I know many school teachers doing excellent job in various schools in the form of eco club, science club. So awareness part is all right. Now we are all aware. Now the most important thing is we'll have to consider, are we doing the right thing? This is the implementation concept, implementation part. And regarding that, I can give you some of the examples. Straight away coming back to our own college where right now I am working. Here in our college now, in terms of NAC, we have got nice word, best practices. So this is the term used by NAC. And in our college, regarding this anthropocentric practices, I am starting and I have already initiated certain concrete steps to be followed. Like my students know, my teachers know, they have seen me doing the work in the campus. I think we should practice, all of us. Straight away, I come to the typist, and I have a chair by his side. Sit by his side when he is typing on the computers, so that I can check on the screen itself. Why should he get one or two printouts for correction and bring it to my chamber? Why can't I straight away go to him and sit by his side, check the typed copy in the screen itself in the soft form, and before we get out that printout, it is corrected. So there is no chance of wastage of paper. Even in the photocopier machine, some of the papers are unfortunately wasted. So can we reuse it? How? We are getting all those papers, cut it, make small note sheets, and give it to everyone in the college, so that whenever we are giving writing something, some draft writing, some note, something, we can use those papers. So the basic objective is stop wastage of papers. Papers are precious. Every small sheet of paper. This is a nice practice. Not only me, not only me. In our college, many of my teachers I have observed these things we are practicing. So we can say that these are some of the anthropocentric practices, human practices, what we can do in our own institutions everywhere. And if we start and make it a habit, this habit can really help our sustainable development in future. I'm talking about our future generations, because that is very important. We'll have to protect, we'll have to bring more oxygen in our air. Reducing this wastage of paper will help in cutting less number of trees in future. So we are getting more oxygen from there. Solar energy, how can we use some solar panels? Maybe very soon we will have no electricity from thermal power. So what we will have to do? Some alternative sources. We'll have to think. So not only making aware, at the same time, scientists they're doing a lot of work to make electricity from some other alternative sources. So can we do something? Some solar panels on the rooftop, and not only announcing our college as one of the green campus college or etc. That is not enough. Only planting trees or making gardens, herbal gardens, etc. That is not enough. But solar panel on the top. Can we use some electricity coming out of that to save electricity in that case? Stop wastage of paper. Stop using all plastic. So can we announce every institution as no plastic zone? Just refuse using of plastics. Can we replace those plastics with paper bags, some paper cups in canteen instead of those plastic cups? So if we can start this movement from our educational institutions itself, colleges, universities, schools, a lot of people they will start practicing it. And we teachers, we should first initiate it. Unless we initiate that practice, whenever we are coming out of the classroom. Now I am very proud to say that yes, I have seen my students also, my teachers also. They're switching off the lights and fans when they're leaving the classroom. So these are very small things, and if we can notice this we do in our house. But whenever we are going out in our workplace, in our colleges, schools, universities, we don't really bother because we won't have to pay the electricity bill there. But now this is the greater interest, not only paying the electricity bill. This is just to save our nature for the future use. Another very important concept what we are doing in our own campus is rainwater harvesting and recharging. We have initiated the project and trying because all of you are aware that funding is a crisis. So as far as it is possible, we will try to do and recharging. This is very important. Whatever rainwater we can catch hold of on the rooftop, can we just make some hole and make that water available under our soil, because that is very very important. Very subsoil water level is going down and down every day. Maybe after some time we won't have any water, and this is already faced by many part of our country, like Bangalore and in many places. They are now already facing this problem. Now all these things, whatever we have started, that true, whatever we have studied, whatever we have started, now we are experienced some anthropocentric practices we must give emphasis on. Now, only gardening won't help. We'll have to stop all these damage or wastage to the nature. Uh, it is something now in our country. I don't know when it will happen that we'll have our separate streets for bicycles. I don't know when I can stop driving or traveling by these fuel engines and transportations on the road. We will have bicycles. We can, if it is a walking distance, can we walk? So using public vehicles more. So reducing this use of transport, reducing the use of petroleum, because now we are all aware that after 2050 we won't be I won't be there at that time, but many young generation they will face this crisis. After 2050 there will be no petroleum product, there will be no coal on earth. We have misused it, we have already exhausted all the petroleum stored. So after 2050 what will happen? There will be no petroleum, there will be no coal. So we'll have to switch over before that, much before that. And I have seen one of the legislation in England, probably they have already said that after 2030, after 10 years from today, there will be no petrol or diesel driven automobile or car available in England. So they have already initiated. So alternative modes are coming up, and we'll have to think and use all these judiciously, so that can we live with a bit of petroleum product available right now, even for 5 or 6 or 10 more years, if possible, if we can save it for future generation. If I exhaust everything now, what my future generation will be doing after 10 years, after 20 years. So this is actually a matter of concern. And some of you, those who are aware, you know that even in Bangalore, they are having some water crisis because that underground water level is going down and it is not available. So they have to buy in many part of the world, even in our country, we have to buy water. And jokingly, one of our professor, now he is no more, but now we think that yes, he said when we were students that there will be a day when we will come out on the streets with gun to have water. Mind it, not gold ornaments, not money, only for water, only for oxygen. We'll have to really fight. We'll have to struggle. So this is the reality what we are going to face. And in this situation, can we look back that yes, what we have done, and pause, think, and then think about the future more. Can we do something? And now I'm just giving more emphasis on this. When we were students, we were studying about 3 hours. What were those 3 hours? One is reduce. All of you know, population should be controlled. Reduce, reuse. There are a lot of products which we can reuse, and recycle. These three we studied when we were students. Now, very recently, we have got another R, refuse. Refuse. As I just now told you, that no plastic zone in our college. So we are not encouraging the use of plastics. Even in marketplace, if we can stop using plastic bags. So refusing use of plastics. Instead of plastics, can we switch over to some paper bags, some alternative things which are biodegradable? And now the next concept is coming. Very recently, we have got the fifth R as well, which is rot. ROT, rot means what we are doing, all these food scraps or whatever we are throwing out in the garbage bin, etc. Even a lot of biodegradable things. Can we just convert them in some way? If you go near Dhapa and all these places near Kolkata, you can see that the same project is going on there also. What they are doing, they are converting all these biodegradable things, food scraps and everything, in the form of compost system. So it may add to fertilizers. You must have seen about the Ramsar project here, the water wetland, water body. And these are the places where this is called the kidney of our city, Kolkata, where actually all these water bodies and everything, they are getting cleaned by the natural flora and fauna of that place. And this is the way how we can really save our biodiversity. And whenever I'm emphasizing on these anthropocentric practices, I'm using the term repeatedly just in order to make you more and more conscious about it. What we are doing, we are talking all perfect things, but we are not practicing it. This is the problem. And in order to practice that, what we can do and how we can do this, and as I told you earlier, can we bring this to school curriculum straight away in the form of activities? Now I know that many CBSE school teachers are there and they are doing the same thing in their own school in the form of projects. Now I'm straight away coming to that pedagogy part. Now, in case of projects in eco and science club activities in many schools, what they can do, as in our earlier time when I was teaching life science method, I showed you the book itself, which is available for teachers training, especially those life science and science method trainees. They use this book, they know this book. What we do, we started when we were students, we used to have herbarium. And what we did, we really got a lot of samples of these herbariums by destroying those leaves. Now, when I was teaching in St. Xavier's with all my students, you know that they are coming for B.Ed, means they have already completed their university course, MSc, in some branches of bioscience. And we discussed that problem and we started thinking that, sir, they came out from the students itself, that, sir, can we do something where we stop using these herbarium sheets? Yes, we can. Why not? For school children, can we make the replica of these real leaves in the form of sweat paper cuttings? We can teach the shape of the lamina. We can teach a lot of veins, etc. by drawing with a black pen on the sweat paper cutting instead of bringing one live leaf from a plant or tree by destroying that leaf. Imagine that hundreds of students of thousands of schools, if they go out and get all these sample leaves, how much nature is wasted and destroyed. Can we stop that? So right now, all of you are aware that for school level, live dissection of animals is being stopped, banned. This is one of the very good implication of this policy, where we are saving a lot of frogs, rat, white rat, I mean, and a lot of other animals which we used to dissect even in school curriculum. Now it is stopped. Before the graduation level, no animal dissection is allowed now. Only the teacher can bring one and demonstrate if it is necessary and if it is part of the curriculum. In a similar way, can we save those green leaves in the plant? Can we stop getting these herbarium sheets? And can we straight away come to the sweat paper cutting? These green sweat papers are available. And in case of any workshop or etc., I can show you the samples. These samples are in colleges, various teachers training colleges. And now we are replacing, instead of herbarium, the sweat paper cuttings to show you exactly the types of leaf, the types of venation in the leaf, etc., etc. This is one. Another very interesting thing, very successfully done by us, not only in my earlier college, even in the present college, that is environmental cartoon. And can we make it in the form of a competition? Because our young children in school, they are very fond of competitions, this type of drawing competitions, cartoon competitions, poster competitions. Now, when we say competitions, they are feeling very happy and they get a lot of joy in doing this. Environmental cartoon, can we make? And lot of environmental cartoons we have already seen. That is, a lot of cartoons are available in net also. Those who are which are prepared by school children, middle school children, primary school children. They are becoming very much aware. Right now, I'm very sorry. Right now, I don't have that cartoons with me in home because that those are lying in my college. Now, these environmental cartoons can be done in this eco club activities, and with lot of words, can we start some uh, crossword puzzles? Because I know I've seen in many final teaching exams, many of my students, they have done it during the final teaching. They have used a lot of plain chart papers in the class, and starting with all those terminologies associated with environmental science. They have used this crossword puzzles in the classroom, and done it through an interactive mode in the classroom, making the entire classroom lively. Because once they start participating in the class, our boring lecture, what I'm doing right now, can be replaced with this type of interactive session with young minds, young children in the classroom, and they participate in this crossword puzzle making and etc. So in this way, and all of us now we are aware, because these are all coming out in the textbooks as well. This Chipko movement. Chipko means what Amrita Devi did 22,000 years ago, that surrounding a tree and asking that, well, you'll have to first kill me before you kill that plant. And she was brutally killed by that then Jamindars people, and etc. Now, as I just repeat these 5 R's again, that reduce, reuse, recycle, and later on refuse and rot. So these 5 R is necessary for the sustainable development. And if we can do this, and the most important thing in this field is attitudinal change. This is very important. Now, Devdulal Babu is here doing excellent work in the field of clinical psychology. And this attitude is very, very important in our world. We say good things, we say all ideal things, but we never practice it, because the attitude is very important. This attitudinal change is very important, because in families we have seen small girls, they're coming and approaching their dad and stopping them from smoking. So this is attitudinal change. The daughters are now persuading their father that dad, don't smoke. This is not good for your health, not good for my health. I will be suffering from this passive smoking. Please stop. So this attitudinal change is very, very important as far as anthropocentric lifestyle practices are concerned. So this is awareness building. Awareness, not only awareness. You are aware smoking is injurious to health. It is written. Alcohol consumption is injurious to health. It is written. Once you go to the film movie and hall, and you can see all these things are coming up. But how many of us we are practicing it really? So attitude will help us in rethinking that yes, whatever problem we are facing due to certain practices, what we are doing in a wrongful manner, and can we change it? Can we change it for the future generation? And all these things can be merged with various eco club activities. When we were students, we are doing a lot of project works related to this, and we have seen a lot of school children as well. They are doing also excellent activities and project work in this field. And during our time, we have seen a lot of projects came up replacing chlorofluorocarbon. As those who are doing in this field, they are aware that chlorofluorocarbon used in AC and refrigerator is replaced by hydrochlorofluorocarbon. And whenever this HCFC is coming in these instruments, this is actually the research done by instrumental scientists and researchers, engineers, technocrats, helping our Mother Earth, that replacing CFC with HCFC. But just believe it, this concept of this using all these alternative things came up from school level projects. And hats off to those primary school teachers, those who are guiding all these young minds, doing a lot of innovations, small. I have myself excellent example experience of watching these young boys and girls doing nice science fairs in schools. So the basic concepts are coming up. They may not be skillful enough to redesign some instrument, but the ideas they are giving, and these ideas may be taken up by the researchers, the scientists in a higher level, and do this type of replacing instruments like the example what I gave you right now. And very important, as I told you earlier, that carbon footprint should be reduced on Earth. And in order to do that, we'll have to first reduce this type of carbon combustion and this fuel, this fossil fuels, use of fossil fuels in transportation, in industries, can be replaced with some alternative. And what can be those alternatives? What are these alternative, these renewable sources? Solar energy, the hydro power. So all these things are coming up. And young minds, the school children, under the guidance of the teachers, are showing us the way. They are giving us the idea with their scribbles, with their drawings, paintings in the science fair. They're giving us these ideas. These ideas should be taken up. Now, during the early part of this lockdown period, we have experienced, we have seen a lot of videos coming up in our WhatsApp from the Ganges in Haridwar, and many videos you must have seen, that where the atmosphere is becoming more cleaner due to this lockdown. That one of the positive side of that lockdown we experienced, that Mother Earth probably was allowed to breathe, and it is becoming more and more cleaner. The earth, the Ganges, the water, the mountain tops, even on the Everest top, the pictures are coming up that all the climbers are going there and leaving all those their whatever product they are using on Everest top. Even the ice is melting there, polar ice is melting there. So what is happening in Antarctica, even in North Pole, and when the ice is melting, what will happen now? Everyone can understand that sea level will rise, and there will be no a day will may come that there will be no city called Kolkata because it will be submerged under the water. If the sea level comes up by only 2 inches after the ices, the North and South Pole, or all these mountain top, they start melting and coming down on to the rivers and ocean, what may happen? So this type of disasters we are facing, and ozone hole is there. All of us now we are facing this climate change, global warming. We are experiencing. Those who are a bit aged like me, they can experience it from their childhood. We used to have our winters under the quilt for at least 2 months, clear 2 months. Abdullah Babu will agree that we when we were very small, we were young, we used to have lap, that quilt, for at least 2 months in the winter. Now, see the climate change, the global warming, we are experiencing it. So, just for our future, not only awareness, but as I am emphasizing repeatedly, that what we should be doing, we should be doing a bit of concrete implementation of these things. And just before I end, a quick points what we can really do straight away, quickly, for researchers, students, teachers, just for implementation. Stop wastage of, as I gave a lot of examples of wastage of water and paper, precious things, precious things, our nature's gift, and a lot of eco-friendly things. Biodegradable products should be used more. Bio non-degradable products should be refused, should be declined. No ban, straight away ban on this plastic and etc. And over consumerism. What you need, as once we heard this famous quotation, the Mother Earth has got enough for our need, but not for our greed. So overconsumption, this consumer products should be stopped unnecessarily. What we need is enough, but overconsumption should be stopped. Public vehicles should be more encouraged. Recycle or reusing things in a planned or scientific manner. We can use the natural resources. Disposal of waste material should be done in a proper manner. Right now, what we see, that solid waste, medical waste in a separate container, etc. Cutting trees and should be stopped with a very strong legislation. Otherwise, without legislation, with the nice sweet words, sometimes we really don't give importance to them. And then, as I told you, that our own practices, daily lifestyle practices, switching off lights and fan, unnecessarily not using all these electrical gadgets, and green home. Now, as the title nicely done by Abdullah Babu is green education. And I know, I probably, I know that all of you we are aware that we have got one green university in Hooghly district coming up in our own state. And the vice chancellor is one of our beloved senior in presidency, Ashutosh Da, who was the ex vice chancellor of Calcutta University. He is from chemical technology branch, chemistry branch. He was chemistry honor student when we were first year. He was the third year pass out, and Ashutosh Da is now the vice chancellor of the Green University in Hooghly, in West Bengal itself. So now it's coming up a lot of green university, green campus, green concept. Now we are making another term, green home. Now in every home, whatever oxygen we are consuming, can we produce that oxygen in our home itself, in our balcony, in the corner, on the rooftop? Can we make our city more greener? Can we have more oxygen? So that only that oxygen oximeter and putting in our hand and see that how much oxygen we are carrying in our blood is not enough. Can we produce more oxygen? Free of cost, it is available. Because it is free of cost, we are not giving importance to that. That is the main problem. And can we make our home green? Can we conserve energy as far as possible? Can we protect our biodiversity in this way? And I am borrowing all these points from my daughter's PhD thesis, because she has done her thesis also on this sustainable development and how that can be done, and in the field of teacher education program. So I'm just borrowing these points because she has done it nicely. So this emphasis on this more and more project work and case studies in case of teacher training in teacher education system. Can we have more case studies incorporated to environmental issues? There are a lot of environmental issues where we can have case studies. Case studies doesn't always mean counseling related psychological case studies. Counseling related psychological case studies are there. That is something else. Here I am talking about the case studies related to some environmental hazards, some environmental issues. We are facing this type of problem. We are talking about problem solving pedagogy, problem solving approach in teaching strategy. But can we relate that with this type of case studies in environmental issue? Can we stop this type of environmental pollution and have more and more insight related to this? And in the form of case study, can we develop certain strategies, some pedagogies in this field? More and more survey based practicum work can be incorporated in this, because now these surveys are only not for data collection. Surveys are for uh, maybe for awareness building, maybe for some anthropometric, anthropocentric practices, lifestyle practices. If we say something, now it happens in on our streets. If we now see somebody spitting openly in our streets, we object straight away. And sometimes there are a lot of quarrels on the street. Also. Why you are doing? Don't you know that there's now corona has become very important? Forget corona. This is harmful for even without corona. So these some practices should be more emphasized. And survey awareness campaign, young student you must have seen on Park Streets, even in La Martiniere boys on Rodden Street, St. Xavier's boys on Park Street. They are standing with some, even in front of Loreto, they're standing with some placards and showing others that no horn, please, we can't study. So unnecessarily honking on streets. So these are the practices. Enough examples I've given. So now this type of case studies, this type of survey-based work can be taken up by school children as their activities, as their projects, and teachers can have a lot of demonstrative classes, not only lecturing, showing all these things with the help of this concept of sustainability. And in our teacher education system, definitely we can have this type of projects, this type of demonstrative work. And once the teacher training system is incorporating all these things, so naturally the teachers will be more equipped and trained and competent to handle this type of thing with their young children in the school situation. And once the school children are brought into this type of insight, I hope that we will have a better future to come, and we will survive in a better climate. Before I end, I've got a very favorite quotation which I have collected much earlier. Let me please end this lecture with that quotation. Wherever you go, whether you are going for a trip, whether you are going for a nature study camp, whether you are just traveling, wherever you go, follow three things. Take nothing but photographs. Don't bring those leaves, sample, etc., animals, plucking flowers, wasting some branches, plucking some other fruits, etc. Don't bring anything. Don't take anything but photographs. Take photographs, as many as you can. Now, every mobile phone has got this camera, and you can take thousands of photographs. So, take nothing but photographs from the nature. Kill nothing but time. Please don't kill anybody, any animal, anything. Don't harm them. They are part of biodiversity. Please protect them for our own survival, for our own human race to survive, at least in a healthy manner. So don't kill any. Just kill time. So take nothing but photographs, kill nothing but time, and finally leave nothing but your footprints. For especially the climbers on the Everest, they leave lot of junk things, can, plastic bags, etc. Whatever they are carrying. Now we should have more and more strict legislation for that. You must have seen all those photographs on Everest top. All these climbers, this is adventure trip they are going, and they are leaving all their usable junk garbages there on the Everest top. Even on Everest top, they have not left Everest. So leave nothing but your footprints. Kill nothing but time, and take nothing but photographs. Thank you very much for listening to my this boring lecture, and thanks to Debdulal Babu again once more for giving me this opportunity to share this platform with you. Thank you very much. Hoping to live in a better world in future for our future generation. Please, all of us should be doing this anthropocentric practices more and more. Thank you very much.